Hello, everyone, and welcome to my quarterback rankings. So, how this is going to work is that we're just ranking the quarterbacks that are currently playing. So, if you're currently starting for your team, you're getting ranked, or if you played the bulk of this season, you're getting ranked. Uh, yeah. Number 32, we got Kenny Pickett. And also, we're going to do end of the season as well. So these are kind of like QB power rankings, and then we'll do QB power rankings at the end of the season, see which QBs go up and down. So yeah, number 32, Kenny Pickett. Problem with Kenny Pickett is those interceptions. He throw 9 interceptions compared to 4 touchdowns. His yardage isn't very good. So Kenny Pickett, of course, is at number 32. Number 31, Sam Ehlinger. His the 2 game starter, he's throwing no touchdowns, 1 interception, and about 300 yards. Not very great statistically, but at least he's not turning over the ball as much. At number 30, PJ Walker. PJ was slated to be the third string quarterback, but an injury to Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield just straight up being bad got him the start, and he's been okay. Not really okay. He hasn't been very good, but at least they're winning games with PJ Walker. Number 29, Davis Mills. Davis Mills statistically has not been horrible, but you can see by the eye test, he's not exactly the great, but not even then, like, his statistics are nowhere near good. I'm not exactly sure what the ratio is, but like a big thing for me is touchdown to interception ratio. As you can see, those at the bottom got a lot. Has a bad ratio. Like Kenny Pickett is tied for the most. Oh, he actually has 2 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. My bad. That's even worse for Kenny Pickett. But on the topic of Davis Mills, he's thrown 10 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. The problem is 8 interceptions is a lot, and his yardage doesn't really make up for it. So yeah, he has not been great. Anyway, 28, got Mac Jones. Mac Jones has not been good. I mean, he was getting benched for a little bit. He is starting now, but he has 4 touchdowns compared to 7 interceptions. That's the one I think I was saying for Kenny Pickett. So yeah, Mac Jones, not exactly great on the turnover in the ball, and he hasn't been, scoring too much and tons of other things. At number 27, got Zach Wilson. I was debating if I wanted to put him over Justin Fields or not, but I decided not to because Justin Fields' rushing factor Justin Fields' rushing factor has been a big part. But as for Zach Wilson, turnovers, not as bad as any people below him, but not great. 4 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. And the thing about him is he's gotten 5 interceptions in I think 6 games played now. So, could do better there, Zach, but, I think he'll end up better than 27 by the end of the season, but as of right now, that's where he is. At 26, got Justin Fields. Like I said, the rushing ability, and his latest game was just absolutely spectacular. If it wasn't for that game, he would probably be down at 28 right now, but instead he's up to 26, so I guess one game does really help, and for Justin Fields, that helped out. But, he hasn't thrown for much yardage. He averages like 100 and something, like I think under 150 yards per game. Next, number 25, same kind of deal here. Ryan Tannehill hasn't scored too much. Turnovers, not great. And then once again, the yardage is very low as well, so he's really not being very productive. Number 24, see Matthew Stafford down there. The yardage is good. The problem is 8 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Not scoring very much. Those interceptions are very high. And, the Rams have been a problem this year. Matthew Stafford has not been great. At number 23, you got Dak Prescott. He's only played 3 games. So we're judging him off of 3 games. So expect him to be much more towards the top 15 by the end of the year. But as of right now, he's sitting at 23. I think he's clearly sitting at 23. Three touchdowns to two interceptions in 3 games. Not great. 3-2 is not a great ratio. Um, it's not horrible, but it's not amazing. And then he's just the yardage. He's averaging like 70 yards per game. And, I think we're going to see a lot better of Dak Prescott. We've gotten a small sample size, but as of right now, he's still better than all these other quarterbacks. I think the same thing goes for Matthew Stafford. Other than the fact he's not been injured, I think he'll end the season much higher. Number 22, got Taylor Heineke. He's currently starting for the Commanders, and I expect him to keep starting over Wentz. He's led them to, I think, a 2-1 record, or I think 2-1 record right now. Wentz was 2-4, so one record's clearly better than the other. And the Commanders have been better with Heineke, but that's really because Wentz is not great. Heineke is not great either, but he has been okay. Number 21, you would expect Rush to be pretty low, but, although Rush is not having a good year for his standards, nowhere near it, 21 is not good, he is better than a lot of the quarterbacks in the league. It's just one of those years. And you see guys over him that you're like, whoa. I'm not saying that... I'm saying as of this year, as of the 8 or 9 games we've seen from every team and every quarterback, other than guys like Dak Prescott and Taylor Heineke, Russ has not. He's simply not been better than any of the people above him. And just because he's a big name, he's been a superstar QB in the past, doesn't mean that if we're ranking just off this year, he should be in the top 8. Number 20, Jacoby Brissett. Yes, Jacoby Brissett over Russell Wilson. Kind of surprising. And over Dak Prescott. And over Matthew Stafford. Brissett, 7-5 is his touchdowns to interception ratio. Not great. He's not really throwing for much yards. He's kind of getting carried by the run game. So although he's top 20, it's really because there's just 12 quarterbacks that are worse than him. Number 19, Marcus Mariota. He was not good last game, and that definitely moved him down, because this whole season, he's borderline top 16, if not could have been top 16, but he didn't have a great game his last 2 games statistically, and it's been more of a game manager, but not a bad game manager at that. 18, Andy Dalton. His stats are pretty inflated, in my opinion. His stats show that he has been pretty good, but the ratio is 10-5 or 10-6 touchdowns to interception, which isn't great, but it is what it is. I think Andy Dalton has been good statistically, but if you look at the eye test and a bit more than just him padding his stats, then you would know that he is not a top 12 quarterback. He's more towards 18 as of right now. And I don't know who's going to start, but I think he's starting over Jameis no matter what, unless he just plays bad. Anyway, 17, Jared Goff. Stats are pretty solid for Jared Goff. It's known for about 2,000 yards, which is pretty good. 14 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, so at least he's scoring touchdowns. That's a good thing. And I think the same ratio is for Aaron Rodgers. I kind of grouped them 17 and 16. I don't know who to put above who. Rodgers has thrown for more yards, so I guess I put him above Goff. And some of Rodgers' interceptions haven't been as bad as Goff's interceptions, and I really think the Packers are just a mess. So yeah, Rodgers at 16, Goff at 17. At 15, we got Trevor Lawrence. He's been pretty solid this year. We're starting to get the point where these quarterbacks are actually doing something this year. But as of right now, Trevor Lawrence, 15 is good. I mean, his stats have been a lot better than was last year. I mean, you could tell that last year was really just because of the coaching situation. So yeah, solid by Trevor Lawrence. 14, I know he's very high up on this list, is Daniel Jones. Now, he's averaging about or just under 200 yards per game. And I think he is... he's been a great game manager. His only 6 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions, and one of those interceptions wasn't even his fault. But stats is 6-2. Uh, he's like I said, like about 200 yards per game, and the real big thing is the rushing ability. He's rushed for 3 touchdowns and about 300 yards through 8 games, so that's really good. So Daniel Jones really Messiah because hasn't been turning over the ball at all. So good game manager, and his legs have been very key for this Giants team. Number 13, Kyler Murray. You expect Kyler a bit higher, but Kyler has been solid this year. Not spectacular, but top 13 quarterback. I guess that's okay. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a bit higher towards the end of the year. But yeah, 13 for Kyler is pretty solid. He's been good on the ground, pretty solid through the air as well. And turnovers have not been amazing, but they're not horrible. Number 12, got Derek Carr. The Raiders' record is not great, but Derek Carr has not really been the problem in my opinion. His touchdown to interception is pretty good. He's been better than Kyler Murray. Although Kyler has the ground game, his stat through the air, Derek Carr has been better. And the interceptions, they aren't too bad. Number 11, wow, Jimmy Garoppolo at number 11. There's a lot of surprising ones, and we'll go over the surprising ones. This is not the most surprising. I'm sure you see which one that is the most surprising. We'll get to him. But as for right now, Jimmy Garoppolo, 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's throwing for over like 230 a game. It's really good. I was thinking about putting him over Kirk Cousins. Did not end up doing it because at number 10, I think Kirk Cousins has been really good. Their weapons are, I guess, kind of similar, and the Vikings have been pretty good. And Kirk Cousins, when it came down to crunch time, he was clutch. And another reason why Daniel Jones is in the top 14 is because he's been clutch. Honestly, he should be even higher because of the clutch factor. But that's why you got Kirk Cousins top 10. His stats are pretty good. I think it's 13 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, which isn't amazing, but it's decent. And then, when it comes down to it, he's been great. Number 9, Tom Brady. Although he's played 9 games, he's thrown for about 300 yards every game. He's averaging about 300 every game. 10 touchdowns to 1 interception. So, really good ratio there. And that would probably signal that he's higher. But I don't know. I feel like he's been very good, of course. But, he's played an extra game and his stats are a little inflated, and the Bucs have not been good. So yes, number 9 is a good spot for Tom Brady, and that touchdown to interception ratio is amazing, and his yardage is pretty damn good as well. 8, Justin Herbert. Although the touchdown to interception ratio might not be as good, he is throwing for more touchdowns, which I think it does play a part when you're throwing for significantly more touchdowns and not too much more interceptions. And the yardage is pretty similar per game. So yeah, Justin Herbert at 8. At number 7, got Geno Smith. Yeah, this is the surprise one that we're talking about. Once again, we'll go over which ones have been most surprising towards the end, but obviously this is the biggest one. Go figure. Geno Smith, he's been very good this season. Yardage wise, he's putting up good numbers. Touchdown to interception, I believe, is like 16-4, which is a good ratio, and just eye test shows none of those numbers are inflated. He's just playing that well. And, good job by Geno. He's kind of had a revival season this year. At number 6, Joe Burrow. He's starting to get hot, and you could clearly tell. Joe Burrow, he throws for tons of touchdowns, tons of yards. Like, Joe Burrow is really good statistically. And, he does turn over the ball occasionally, and that's why I don't have him in the top 5 because of the turnovers. But yeah, Joe Burrow has been damn good. At number 5, got Tua Tagovailoa. This one's arguably almost as surprising. Like, if you say like, which one would you think is more surprising, Tua being top 5 quarterback or Geno being top 8? I would let you debate that, but I feel like Geno being a top 8 quarterback is more surprising. Anyway, let's talk about Tua. I mean, although his weapons definitely did upgrade, you could tell Jalen Waddle isn't the same without him. And although Tyreek Hill can work with whoever's at quarterback, clearly Tua has been a damn good quarterback for sure. And when Tyreek Hill was, saying he's the most accurate quarterback in the league, he's not. Your old quarterback Patrick Mahomes is. He's the best quarterback in the league. He's not. Your old quarterback Patrick Mahomes is. Either way, Tua has been a top 5 quarterback in the league. I mean, even though he's only played 6 games, his stats are absolutely ridiculous. And towards the end of the season, he might even end up even higher. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Of course, he's doing the work on the ground. And through the air, he's good too. Touchdown. Whoa. Touchdowns to interceptions has been pretty good. I think more like 16-6 ratio. Yardage has been solid, but on the ground, of course, he's rushing for a lot. He's scoring touchdowns on the ground. Number 3, Jalen Hurts. He's been very good through the air. 12-2 touchdown to interception ratio. About 2,000 yards through the air, and he's had his bye week. And then, of course, you got to consider what he's doing on the ground. Tons of touchdowns, and he's scrambling very well. And Jalen Hurts is obviously a top 3 quarterback this year. At number 2, got Josh Allen. He could have been number 1, but I think the debate between 1 and 2 was getting pretty heated. But after last week, I think it's clear Patrick Mahomes is number 1 and Josh Allen's number 2. And Josh Allen struggled against a good Jets defense, but he did struggle nonetheless. On the ground, he was good, but through the air, he was not great. And you see Patrick Mahomes doing amazing things. The one interception he threw wasn't his fault, and then we got Mahomes threw for 446 yards last week with a touchdown versus Josh Allen, who threw for like 200. But he did have his things on the ground, but he did throw picks. Mahomes is just clearly the best. He has the most touchdowns. His touchdown to interception is about 21-6, and Tom Brady does have the best touchdown to interception ratio as of right now, but like I said, I think Tom Brady's stats are a little bit inflated, so that's why he's only at number 9. Mahomes, amazing ratio, especially for the amount of touchdowns he's throwing. And you look at the weapons, I mean, the weapons are pretty similar. I mean, Stephon Diggs is a lot better than any Mahomes receivers. I mean, even if you want to say Kelsey, I would probably say Diggs has been better than Kelsey this year. Not even probably, I would say Diggs has been better than Kelsey this year, and then Juju's been pretty solid. The weapons aren't as good, and he's just doing his thing still. Like, it's just spectacular. We're watching one of the greatest of all time right in front of our eyes, and about in the prime of his career. Patrick Mahomes is just a different breed. I'm sure you guys know that. So let's look at the surprising ones. Mac Jones at 28. He definitely surprising. Talking surprising as for if you said this at the beginning of the year. Yeah, definitely surprising. Matthew Stafford at 24, very surprising. Dak, I don't really want to call this surprising just because he got hurt. So Matthew Stafford at 24, very surprising. Russell Wilson at 21, even more surprising in my opinion, because I think Russ is better than Stafford usually, and even this year. Marcus Mariota at 19, that's surprising. Andy Dalton 18, he wasn't even supposed to start, but he's close to that top 16, surprising of course. Trevor Lawrence 15, Daniel Jones 14, Aaron Rodgers 16 of course. Jimmy Garoppolo at 11, I don't think it's too surprising. Kirk and Garoppolo, you probably rank them around 13 to 16-ish. They've been a bit better, so it's not too surprising. And we keep going. Geno Smith, obviously very surprising. Tua, very surprising. And Jalen Hurts, very surprising. Top 2 quarterbacks are not surprising. So we got, I'm going to tell you my rankings coming into the year. I'm going to put them up somewhere here. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 4, I had Justin Herbert. And number 5, I had Tom Brady. So that's right now, 4 of the 5 are in the top 10. And Rodgers has not been good. But to be fair, those are pretty decent for coming into the year. And now, not quite as good. So yeah, a lot of surprising things when it comes to the quarterback position, and it's been kind of weak this year. That's why I can't wait till we get, new quarterbacks, of course, in the draft and stuff. So yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.